Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like, subscribe, and even share if you will. I just wanted you guys to know that one of the most important things in leaving these narcissistic relationships is you're going to start to have your feelings validated. You're going to start having somebody who cares about you. You're going to see red flags. You're going to avoid those people. You're going to filter out, and the right kind of people are going to start coming into your life. When we were in these narcissistic relationships, we lost ourselves. We weren't allowed to feel human. We couldn't express ourselves because whatever we said didn't matter. It wasn't thoughtfully processed. It was counteracted with their point of view instead of taking in ours and trying to see it. And just, it's fine to disagree, but they didn't care what we had to say. And to be stuck in these relationships where, we're confused by their words, the word salad and the gaslighting, to where we're trying to figure out what exactly do they mean, and then we start feeling guilty when we come to them saying, I need my feelings validated, regardless, even if it's not emotional stuff. Just sharing your thoughts. I was cut down. I had mentioned something about my friends, just, kind of like, I don't even know, they're getting a new patio put in, and you just hear, do I really care? And I was like, I was just trying to, you could start like a conversation that way and it can flow, but it's always cut down and negative. And I'm just trying to share something. It's not that big of a deal. It was one sentence or two. We can move on, to say, oh, that's great. And, I'm glad we have a backyard or whatever, and take it in a different direction. But they don't even take that time to validate even just our smallest little comments. They don't uphold their promises, the future faking. So these channels that you guys are reaching out, commenting, it's really good to comment. I'll comment back for you guys, and other people will too. We're going to start to have our feelings validated. We're going to start to see that we weren't crazy. We weren't some dumb fool. It's happened to other people. We trusted somebody, and unfortunately, there are people out there that are con artists, which is what these narcissists are. They're master manipulators. They will fool you. They know tactics, with this new supply. Well, good luck to the new supply, because now the narcissist knows better tactics. So it might seem like they're going to have a better relationship. It's the exact opposite, because the narcissist is going to be overconfident in what they can get away with. Because they think they have the right kind of tools. So they're going to get more and more shady, more and more dismissive, because they think they can just repair it. Their egos are either overly inflated with the grandiose, or they'll play the victim. They know how to tug at our heartstrings. That's why they're drawn to empathetic people, because they know how to play us. They know we're forgiving. They know we try to process things. And unfortunately, they've even trained us more to overthink things, to where it's almost like making a pros and cons list, to where if there's too much pros and cons, that's the worst thing for me to do. Because you're like, but this outweighs this, and then, but what if this happens, and then that outweighs, and we start like jumbling our mind with the way to think, and that's how the narcissist wins. So I just wanted you guys to know that you deserve to have your feelings validated. When you talk to people, make sure they're the right people to talk to, somebody who understands what you're going through. And that's what's so hard, is trying to communicate people. And then the people that we come to are dismissive because they don't understand it. And we have to remember, we have problems with our narcissist, because with empathy, it's different than sympathy. Sympathy is kind of like a casual, like, I mean, I can kind of get it. I'm a burn victim. You can kind of go like, yeah, that's probably bad. But I'll tell you what, you don't know. It also depends on the severity of it too, because I don't know. As a burn victim with somebody who has horrible stuff, I can kind of relate better than you guys could. But if you've never been hurt in your life, and I tell you what it feels like, you're not going to relate to it. So when we're telling people what we want them to understand, we need somebody who understands us, so they can help us heal. Just like when I was injured with the burn, if I'm trying to express what I feel, um, and I'm not expressing it the right way, the doctor's not going to be able to help me the right way. So we need people to really relate to us, to validate our feelings. If we tell them that we're hurt, and then they'll just come back that we were the fool, we should have seen it coming, or I told you so's. Our heart was invested. And, we experience that love bombing. We experience the good times, and we're usually positive people, so we want to see the good in it. We're more optimistic than pessimists. And I just want you guys to validate your own feelings, to accept this new journey that you're on, to move forward, to not keep looking in the past, because the past was full of invalidation. The past was full of confusion. It's never going to give you direct answers on what went wrong, so don't feel guilt in it. When you're reacting, you are the victim, and some of us do have a guilt that I want you to set free. It's just like if I get in a car accident and I swear, like, oh shit, it's like, oh, now I feel guilty that I swore or did something out of character or wrong, or I said it in front of a kid. And now I feel guilty that kid hurt. But it's like, when you're reacting to something, it's not who you are. It doesn't demean what your character is. Things happen in life. And sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's hard to react the right way. But it's being pushed into an uncomfortable situation that we don't want to be in. And, we try our best to work through things, and then it gets to a head, and we react in a way that's outside our character. So don't carry the guilt of that. You were pushed to it, it's healthy to find people who can relate to what you're talking to. So share your stories. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'll make personal videos for everybody to see, but based on your topic, where we help and heal each other, and really interact with each other, because we've been wanting to have these feelings validated for a long time. And sometimes we might be too embarrassed to tell some of our family members what's gone on. So I want this to be like a safe community for us, where we encourage each other, share stories of our progress, or if you had a down in the dumps kind of day, how you got out of that. But stay strong during this time. Don't turn to drugs or alcohol. Turn to your friends instead. Turn to activities, leisure time. It's okay to relax, but don't get stuck in the depression relaxation where you just don't want to get out of bed. It's healthy to cry, but try not to get consumed by that. Just like little babies, where they start to cry and they cry and they cry, and then they start like continuing. Have you ever seen a kid do this, where they're like, and they're just crying, and then it's almost like becomes a habit? And granted, it's only like a 5-minute habit, but they're kind of like, why am I still crying? And it's good to get to that point where it's time to snap out of it. But don't get in the habit. I did that. And I don't want that for you guys, to where you don't know how to do your day unless you just cry or just go to sleep or overeat, or, hopefully you don't binge in alcohol or drugs, or, sexual promiscuity. Keep yourself in check, stay on the right track, and let's validate each other's feelings, because you are worth it. And I want you to feel that inside. Our narcissists often have cut us down, that we're like, yeah, was I a bad mom, or was I a bad wife, or whatever your situation is. But know deep in your heart You know, for one thing, nobody's perfect. If you tried your best, that's all that can be expected of you. You know, we all make mistakes, and it's good to learn from our mistakes. But when two people are involved, um, you know, it's not like a math test where you fix one way, you fix the paper, when you can't fix somebody else. So if they're unwilling to fix themselves, it's always going to be wrong. It's always going to be a mistake, because both sides have to be fixed in order for there to be a healthy future. So I want to validate your feelings. I've been through 2 narcissistic relationships. You know, a lot of people in this world have those narcissistic traits on top of it. But, you know, looking back, you know, how much love did we really get from these people? What kind of communication did they do with us? How many times did we get the silent treatment, or blown off, or invalidated, or promises broken? You know, we should have a trust and a faith and a safetyness in our relationships. You know, sometimes we're like, just tell me if you can't pick me up. No, no, I'll pick you up. And then they don't. They don't give us a chance to make other arrangements. You know, so it's not like we're latching onto these people as an ownership or a slavehood. We hope that they're able to help us, and if they can, they most likely should, because we would do that. But it's just the communication to where we can't trust them. We're lost, and it's just a bright future ahead where we don't have to go through that. So part of healing is validating your feelings. And I know it's been hell. I know it's been confusing. We've lost a lot of ourselves. We don't feel the same. And it's almost like in our mind, we know who we are is still in there. Your narcissist was taking from you, but he left, or she left, enough of who you are to regrow and rebuild. And you're going to be a little more cautious in the future, but take that as a blessing. Because I had just said, you know, we felt that we were set up in this life and secure. But this time we're set free, and we're going to have a true security coming in the future. So please like and subscribe. And it does get better. It does get better. And I'll see you in the next video. One-on-ones are available, and take care of yourself.